All right, 97.1, the free agency bonanza continues to move. Had a lot of action, and T.J. Lang, Brother Rice grad, Eastern Michigan grad, and current Green Bay Packer joins us. Yes, indeed.
Never gets old. Thanks, Sully, man. Sully's the only one on this station.
Neither does you guys playing
anymore.
terrible at Ford Field.
It's become a trend.
I got to ask you this, because when you walked in the door, and I know Terry and I had some fun with it, like Brock Osweiler's new deal, right?
Yeah.
You're in the last year of your deal coming up. You see Osweiler, who's got, 7 starts to his name? Does that sound about right to everybody?
Yeah.
4 years.
And he lost his starting gig.
$72 million, and he lost his job to a dead guy. Do you ever just shake your head at the first day of free agency and go, what the hell is this?
I do, but I love when players get paid, man. This league is so rough, and you know the careers are so limited that in years, and I just love when guys get the most they can. And if I'm Brock, I'm not taking anything less than what Sam Bradford got. I mean, he missed 2 years, and he comes back and he doesn't do anything special in Philly. He signs for $18 million a year, so good for him. If I'm Denver, I'm probably wishing I would have locked him up about week 10 or 11 when he was playing well. And
they offered, allegedly they offered 3 at 45, and they just went, yeah, right. It seems like they misread the market on it.
Yeah. Well, the quarterback market is, I mean, the spike in the salary cap the last few years, I think the one position that has really benefited from it from the most has been the quarterbacks. I mean, you got guys that were making 12, 13, 14. Now you got to be a starting quarterback on your second contract. It seems to be $18 million is the least amount you're going to get. So,
I understand, giving back in the day, giving the rookies the money because you had to. But here's a guy in the league. I don't know if he can play, to be honest with you. I really don't. But, I mean, he lost his job, like you said, to a guy's dead. Peyton Manning wasn't Peyton Manning, but he was still the better option for them to win. So I would be petrified to sign this guy to a long-term deal. Petrified.
Well, I think when Peyton Manning got the job back, I think it was for different reasons rather than the physical tools, because I think it was very clear that the arm strength and the accuracy, Brock had a pretty clear advantage on Peyton. But I think the way that Peyton runs the offense gets you into the best play possible. I think that's probably where he had the lead on Brock, and that's why they went back to him.
And so a retired man is better than this guy. Okay.
By the way, I know, TJ, you've been busy today. I want to update you on your team, the Packers free agency whereabouts. Okay.
That's nothing new.
Well, and I got to ask you about that. Now, I mean, look, obviously you got a job to keep. I don't want to see you get fired. But here's the point. You guys are a consistent contender who refuses to use free agency. Matt Forte goes to the Jets. I know that was kind of a flirt. We'll get to Eddie Lacy and the rest of that later. The point is, as a player, do you get frustrated, or do you just understand that this is the way it is?
Well, being drafted by Green Bay, I understand that it's just the way it is. And as a player, I think I answered this question back in the season when the reports came out about people upstairs butting heads a little bit. As a player there, you realize that when you get drafted, you have a very good opportunity of staying around for a long time as long as you perform and you produce on the field. And that's something as a player that you definitely respect from the management, knowing that, hey, if I go out there, if I do my job, if I hold my end of the bargain up, I'm going to get rewarded. And that's something that being in that system, in that organization as a player, you definitely really appreciate, as opposed to, hey, I'm a free agent. They're just going to look for somebody cheaper.
But you
they're
see
reward
today,
me if I
you
play
see
well.
good players signing. Don't tell me party doesn't go, come on, get off your ass here. Let's get some help.
Well, yeah, it does. But without, last year when we hit that rough patch, we lost, 4 out of 6, 5 out of 7, whatever it was. It was kind of looking around, and everybody's thinking in their head, hey, we could use a guy here, we could use a guy there. I wasn't educated enough to say who's out there. Bam, we should go get that guy. I don't know if he's going to be an upgrade over what we have. We just kind of got to work with what we got, and we got to adjust, and we got to try to make the most of it. But, yeah, as a player, you definitely hear some rumors and you see some names pop up. You go, oh, it'd be kind of nice to play with that guy, And obviously with Forte's name being mentioned around the last couple of days.
Martellus Bennett's another one.
Bennett. I mean, he's a guy, obviously, everybody knows it. Our production from our tight end spot wasn't great last year. I think Richard Rodgers is still a young player with a very, very good potential. But the struggles we had at running back a little bit, Eddie Lacy's weight is very well documented. Everybody knows about that.
I did you a favor.
I didn't notice.
Hold on, time out. Hold on. There's two things here. One is, and I know I'm not supposed to say this, but TJ asked me, he goes, Mike, you got a decent clue. He wanted some scouting reports, some opinions on his own teammates. So I took the time and came up with those. But before we do that, Terry, I know you and I were very shaken by Haloti Ngata signing a 2-year deal. I want to get TJ's thoughts. TJ Lang, Packers guard, joining us. And I know it had to be odd for you, but what was your experience with Haloti Ngata trying to block a player in a wheelchair?
I got to tell you,
He's bad.
I'm going to be 100% honest here, not just because I'm in Detroit.
Go ahead.
I hate going against Haloti Ngata. I'm not kidding when I say I had a headache for 4 days after I played that.
Even when he was with the Lions?
Yes, this past year.
Okay,
yes.
Take us through it.
The guy's – he doesn't have that pass rush ability that obviously you had with the Sioux or some of the better 3 techniques out there, but he's a guy who – he's one of the strongest guys I've ever gone against. He seemed healthy when we played him. I mean, I know he had missed a couple games before that, but he didn't seem like he'd taken a step back at all. He's just a tough player, man. He's big. He's gigantic. He's strong. I mean, he's tough to move, and that's something I hate playing against.
Can I just ask you a question? Do you remember the Hail Mary?
Yeah, I remember it.
You remember they ran the oxygen out to Haloti Ngata so he could complete the play?
Well, hey, he's a big guy, man. I told you, he's a monster. He's huge.
They rolled out of the office chair, and he sat in and said, go ahead and throw the ball.
Well, his pass rush on that last play, I don't even think he stepped across the line of scrimmage.
He didn't.